Okay. Hello.
Hello.
So the question is, who are you?
So I'm Ernie.
And
Uh,
and you're my husband,
yes.
representing the other half of the 99%, the unseen. And okay, so I had this conversation with Mike W. That and he always thanks you because he knows that you are the person in the background as far as my job at the vigil. So before I ask you about that, what is the vigil?
Well, basically, from my observation and even personal experience, is that it's kind of a way to highlight the needs and the plight of the houseless in the Portland community, and really even the greater community in the country and world at large. Um, just a matter of bringing attention in a non-violent, semi-spiritual way, for people to, come together.
Right on. So I was thinking about interviewing you after I got up from my nap and noticed that there were three or so dry sleeping bags. So what happened when I got home? Describe the events of when I came home today.
Well, today was maybe typical, maybe atypical. I haven't actually checked the weather, almanac, but it was a very cold and wet and windy, rainy day that you would expect to find in January. Um, Yeah, so when Mary comes home, she is dripping wet. So standing outside the porch, I have her take her shoes off, outside, you know, and tell her to just get right in, put on dry clothes, and while she's dealing with that, she's got this cart full of sleeping bags and blankets, and I haul them in, I throw them into the bathtub in the front room, and I just start, washing them and drying them. So when she comes out from her nap, um, three of the four are already done, and the fourth is, sitting in the dryer. So, I just kind of helped out,
And by the time my roommate is home, his bathtub will not be full of sleeping bags.
Yeah, it's already clear, so, he will never know.
Shh! You don't you call him. Okay, so uh now I you do a lot for the vigil, and I was just talking to Sunshine, who told me, how much time her family is at Occupy and how much time she gets a chance to catch up because she's very involved in the movement and she's got her business. So it's kind of similar to our situation. Um, so you work and I do the Occupy, and together we workify. I don't know, which is work. I mean, either way. One for the man, but not so bad. Um, but someone told me he's like everybody should relate because you're two paychecks away from being here. So, have we had experience with that here?
It's been a challenge, from 2.5 years of unemployment to, you know, part-time employment. Um, it's a big drop from, being the boss, 4 years ago with a decent salary, and it's one of those things that I know, has almost nothing to do with my personal decisions. It's a combination of corporate mistakes and banking errors and the housing industry collapsing.
What
You know,
industry? What was your job?
well, I was a warehouse manager for a heating and air conditioning company in the local area. When 4 years ago, when construction stopped happening, they really didn't have a need for me. So,
And they didn't, as it turns out, have a need for that entire company.
yeah, a few months after they let me go, as a cost-cutting measure, they went away completely.
As a
So,
cost cutting measure, we cease to exist.
so yeah, I'm 4 years, almost 4 years into my 60-day layoff.
So okay, so yeah, so this had nothing to do with your personal life decisions. You just suddenly didn't have work, and then now I have to say, when you first were unemployed, it wasn't like you were beating the pavement looking for a job every single day. It was kind of like, a day off, because you didn't get many. But then, shortly after, when it got real, you went looking for work. And how did that go?
Well, as many people have, I'm sure, experienced this, nationwide, it doesn't exist. My job, my industry, you know, is just beginning